to the Cinema So Far podcast, the podcast where good friends talk about great cinema. I'm your host, James, and today we have Sydney.
Hello, me lord.
Oh, Sid, so this is a little bit of a different format. It's just us two today.
Chatting it up.
Yeah. You know, we both just watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the TV show on HBO Max, and just had to talk about it because it's funny because, like, I swear you and I have been talking about Game of Thrones over the past couple of days because that's a show that I've loved for a long time. Just to kind of go into our history here, I've never read the books, but I've seen the TV show multiple times, listened to a lot of podcasts about it, just really like to dive into the world. But you were someone that hasn't really watched it before.
Nope, never seen it. I know you tried to get me to watch it like 9 years ago, and I just wasn't into it at the time, and I don't know why, because now it was all Game of Thrones for 2 days. I'm almost complete with the first season, and I would love to know what got you into it. Did you get into it in 2011 when it came out?
I wish. I think I was maybe like a season behind, so I heard about the show after it was already running, but quickly got into it right after that, and have been a huge fan ever since, you know, and followed it all the way up until the very last season. So there's 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. I don't know if you knew that yet, but yeah, I think I've seen the series maybe 5 times altogether. So obviously a fan, but never really got into reading the books. I'm a TV show only watcher, but yeah, you mentioned that I've tried to get you into the show before, and could you just talk about why you maybe didn't watch it before and why you started to watch it now and maybe what you think about it?
Well, first of all, I'm always kind of late to the party, finding out stuff way after the trend or it's popular. But I think what helped me get into Game of Thrones now, honestly, is reading a bunch of these fantasy books last year. When I saw the intro 8 years ago, I saw the maps and was like, oh my god, oh shit, like this is gonna be great. Like,
I gotta learn geography.
I'm not gonna get it at all. But then again, reading the books with all these maps, very involved, I felt less intimidated by it, and it's nothing what I expected. I thought it was gonna be like 300 style, just all action all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like you were telling me, it has a lot of depth to it. There's politics, there's horror, there's fantasy, there's romance, there's everything you could want. And it's right up my alley too. Like, I love the weapons and the costumes, and I live for Scarborough Fair every year.
Yeah.
I've got my dragon shirt on, got my goblet.
I knew, like, the show was perfect for you, so it was always such a trip to me that you never really got into it before. But hey, you're here now. And, you know, whenever you first started telling me that you were starting the episodes, I couldn't wait to talk to you about it because that was just something, you know, we watch a lot of the same TV shows and stuff, but that was one that we never really got to talk about before because I never wanted to spoil anything, of course. But, yeah, so whenever you first started watching it, you said it wasn't what you expected. How do you feel about it now? Like, what do you think about the show or the world, Game of Thrones world?
I mean, the world building is so involved, and I'm eager to see how that unfolds. Like you were telling me, there are a lot of unanswered questions that you're not really supposed to know yet. So I'm hoping things will click as I continue to watch it, kind of like we're doing Fallout, you know. A lot
Hmm.
of stuff is kind of coming together and leaving some more questions in the end, but I mean, I love those actors. I especially love Emilia Clarke and, of course, Jason Momoa. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was his breakout role, I think. Like, that's where we really kind of saw him for the first time, or at least I did. But cool. Yeah, I mean, I love the show. I know exactly what you mean. The world is really fun to get into. So let's talk about the episode that we watched tonight. We just saw a prequel to Game of Thrones, and this is taken from shorter books that George R. R. Martin wrote. Different characters than we see in Game of Thrones in the Game of Thrones books, but I believe it's set like 100 years before that story takes place. Um, but yeah, I kind of knew a little bit about it. I never read the books though, and so I'm going in really fresh as someone that hasn't seen it. But um, as I was watching this, it really just felt good to be back in the world again. Um, I was not expecting to see the dude take a dump in the first 5 minutes.
That is the first thing in my notes, like from wanting to cry at the funeral on the hill to him taking a shit behind the
Yeah,
tree and looking at the bird in the tree.
yeah, yeah. And for like us fans, like super fans, where when we start to hear that Game of Thrones theme song, like you get this feeling, and I love how they just use that smash cut to him just taking a dump behind the tree. Totally just, really calling out the tone of this particular series, which was pretty fun.
And I love the fresh aspect of it. You know, it's just come out, and just comparing that with the first season of Game of Thrones, I mean, for 2011, that's pretty incredible. I mean, it will stand the test of time forever.
Yeah, yeah. And there's some controversy about it, but I don't know if there's any controversy around this prequel. It felt like everyone was really waiting for something else to come out. Um, and I think the books, from, the books that these were taken from, are super popular. Everyone just really loves them, loves the characters of Dunk and Egg. What did you think about the characters? I mean, dude, anytime there's a little snappy little kid that just speaks his mind and is, I don't know, just really positive. I don't know. I get a kick out of that. So it was cool to see Egg, and obviously it was cool to see Dunk, since that's who the where the story revolves around. But um, yeah, I was really happy to see some of these new characters that were introduced.
They've got a lot of on screen chemistry. I'm excited to see how their relationship evolves and works out. And I didn't know this was also based on a smaller book. I feel like I'd kind of want to check that out too, because I mean, fallen in love with Dunk. I mean, who wouldn't? He's
Yeah.
such a hunk.
So
Dunk's a hunk.
Dunk the Hunk. Yeah.
Hmm.
I, so let me ask you this: are you someone that likes to read the book before watching the movie or the show, or you want to watch the show before reading the book? How would you do it?
Theoretically, I'd want to read the book before watching the show, like I plan to do with Wuthering Heights. I've never read Wuthering Heights. Comes out on Valentine's Day. I'm going to try to binge read that. But the show is just so entertaining. It's hard not to jump right in to the
Hmm.
show.
Yeah. Same here. I think that I'll definitely just keep watching the show, and then once the show's over, and I'm looking for a little bit more, then I might dive into the book after that. But I think how it is like there's three of these short books, and and I believe the first book is pretty much the first season of this show.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure you can just read that first book after the season's over and not get spoiled for the rest of the story. It just, just cover whatever's in that season. I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of discrepancy between the show and the book. Like when I watched and got obsessed over American Psycho, the movie, I went and read the books. There's a lot of differences. It's almost more gruesome, in my opinion, the book than the movie, in a weird way.
Yeah. There's more details, I know. Like, that's kind of why I like doing it in that order. There's usually like more details that are going to be in the book. But yeah, I mean, I would say that this episode was pretty entertaining. It was obviously just getting things started. Started out with that really sad kind of, scene, which, I don't know, it made me wonder the way they did it. Did he actually make him a knight, do you think? Or was that...
I don't think so.
Was that just something he was just trying to use as a way to become a knight?
I thought it was funny. They were burning him like, oh, you came dressed as a farmer. You don't look like a knight.
Yeah. Everyone was dogging him on his clothes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Were the accents difficult for you to keep up? I had to put the captions on. The
Dude.
fake Irish accents.
Dude, I had to. Yeah. I think, like, for this show, it's pretty much going to be captions are a must, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to tell what's going on.
I was 20 minutes in and could not tell what was wrong. I was like, why can't I get this? I was like, oh, I can't understand what they're fucking saying.
What language are they speaking? Yeah.
The scenery, too, is absolutely stunning.
Yeah. It was really, really cool.
In
Yeah,
both
look,
Game of Thrones and this.
Yes. Yeah, I think this looked really, really good. I can't wait for the tournament scenes to come on screen, right? Like, they've got to be badass. Seems like they put a lot of money into this.
For sure. The Game of Thrones jousting scenes that I got to see in the first season were brutal. So intense.
How far did you get in the first season? Like episode 6?
Halfway through episode 9.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you saw some of my favorites. I mean, wait, episode 9?
So
what was the last thing you saw?
The imp giving his ring to the man in the woods. I don't know. They still have him like kind of prisoner in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the last thing I remember. I've been cramming the last 3 days, but I was fascinated by the concept of those prisons they had him in.
Yeah.
The super high up, and the only way out is down unless someone gets you out.
Yeah, dude. If you move around when you sleep, damn.
You almost rolled off there.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that was really cool. And so you saw the whole like I forgot, like, is it called the sky window or the moon window or something, where you can like fall through. Okay. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to bring up because I'm not sure what else you've seen, but I can't wait to talk to you about like the end of the season once that happens. I believe it's maybe 10 episodes, so you got one more to go.
Oh, and the king has just died, and they're fighting for his hand to take over, and not this little bitch ass prince to immediately take over.
Okay, so Joffrey, yeah. You got some strong feelings about Joffrey.
I was going back and forth, but he seems kind of like a little brat because I mean he's so young and now crowned king pretty much.
Yeah, that's a lot of power for a crazy little
Mm-hmm.
kid.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Well, man, we're gonna keep talking about Game of Thrones unless we get back to this other show.
Okay.
But okay, so any instant thoughts here? That's kind of what we were doing with this particular part of our show. We're just gonna give our instant takes, see what we thought about the episode, what we're maybe thinking about as it moves forward. For me, again, I'm just happy to be in this world again, but I really like the dynamic between Dunk and his new squire, Egg. I thought maybe it was going to take a little bit longer for him to become his squire, but they knocked that out in the first episode. And so it feels like the story's going to kind of keep moving fast like that. Um, I mean, the episodes are only like 30 to 45 minutes long, so maybe that's why the story just has to move a little bit quickly. But it felt like things were moving kind of fast, even though um, that party scene seemed to drag on a little bit for me. Dude was just, it's kind of hard to just watch drunk people do their thing in real life
He
or on TV.
he kind of reminded me of the snake oil, like a fancy snake oil salesman in a way, but by the end they were best friends and he was wearing that giant
Yeah.
horn crown antler thing and they're all in each other's face.
All it took is for him to stomp on his feet, and they're best friends after that.
He was loving it.
Yeah.
But it did. It went by really fast. I think this is the longest episode, the premiere, that we're going to get. So they're probably going to have, like you were saying, have to kind of compact a lot of information into these 30-minute, 40-minute episodes.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I feel like if it moves quickly, that's cool. Um, it's better to do that than to just drag it out and make it a little bit too long and bloated. But um, any other standout moments for you? Anything else that you really liked? Um, I'm trying to think of like what happened now. I didn't actually take any notes, but uh, him going into that tavern and just seeing the level of service, like the lady behind the bar takes a drink and then just pours some more some more whatever it was into the glass and gives it to him. That was funny. Um,
That was
but
probably my favorite scene. Them in the tavern dancing around and his face when he got that turkey leg and pastries,
oh
walking around with the pastry.
yeah, it definitely reminded me of like State Fair of Texas turkey leg for sure.
For sure.
Um,
And he's
yeah,
like three feet taller than everybody. He's huge.
yeah. I don't know how tall he's supposed to be. I think maybe like almost 7 foot or something.
Whoa.
Um, yeah, and him hitting his head on the door frame was still got me. Still made me laugh. I'll take that lowbrow stuff any day.
Same.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited to see what happens next, and I don't know. I don't know what else we would want to talk about since there's not much that happened in it in this episode. It's really just setting up the whole story.
I'm really happy with how they set it up. I mean, I just can't wait till next week. I'm gonna be the first one on the remote to pop it on.
Yeah, and maybe next week we'll get someone else to watch it too. I know it was just us tonight, um, but yeah, everyone else is really all of our other friends that usually join us to talk about Fallout. Maybe they've seen it already. Um, it seems like for me, this is going to be like immediately at 9 o'clock on Sunday. I'm going to be watching it, and we can go ahead and podcast about it after and give our instant takes. We'll probably have more by the next time, so I'm going to do a little bit more research and have some more things to discuss. But this was just for initial reaction right now. And anything else you want to bring up before we go?
I'm just excited to dive into this. So thanks for hopping on and chatting. Um, Join us for Fallout. Join us next week. And we would love to hear what you have to say in the comments. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and give us a 5-star review. And we'll see you next week. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of
Cinema so far. All right, later, Sid.
Goodbye, me lord.